Okay, so every so often you stumble across a perfect artifact from another time. And what we're looking at today is exactly that, a mortgage marketing manual from way back in 2001. It's like a time capsule from the world of direct mail, right before the internet completely changed the game. And this manual, wow, it makes one of the boldest claims I have ever seen.
I mean, look at this. Right there on the cover, all caps, three exclamation points. There's no subtlety, no beating around the bush here. The author, a guy named Oliver Maldonado, just comes out swinging, claiming he has built the single best direct mail system on the entire planet. That's an unbelievable level of confidence. So you gotta ask, what exactly is he promising?
He's promising a 20 to 30% response rate. Now, to put that in perspective, back in 2001, a typical direct mail campaign was considered a huge success if it got a 1% response. If you got over 2%, you are a legend. So promising 20 to 30, that's not just bold, that is completely off the charts.
So let's really dig into this world-beating promise. The manual is basically positioned as a lifeline. It's written for loan officers who were, and I'm quoting here, starving for leads after the big refinancing boom of the late 90s fizzled out. And he was offering them, well, an all-you-can-eat buffet. He actually called his system the lead machine. And the goal wasn't just to get a few phone calls. No, the goal was to generate $3 to $10 million in funded loans every single month. For the people reading this manual, those are absolutely life-changing numbers. It's a promise to turn their whole business around, almost overnight.
And he didn't just make a vague promise. He broke down the math to prove it. This whole thing is presented as a precise funnel. You mail 1,000 pieces, you can expect 200 to 300 phone calls. From those calls, you'll get 60 to 90 what he calls mini applications, and that will result in 10 to 15 closed loans. It's presented like it's a predictable, repeatable science.
Okay, so to really sell his system, the author didn't just talk up his own method. He basically declared war on every other kind of marketing. His core argument was that his system wasn't just a little bit better, it was the only one that worked, because everything else out there was just fundamentally broken.
And he puts it pretty bluntly right here. He's telling his readers, hey, forget everything you thought you knew. He's positioning himself as this lone genius, a revolutionary who's cracked a code that the entire marketing industry had somehow missed.
And he backed it all up with this. This is like his data-driven knockout punch. He claimed his cost per response was just $2. $2. Compare that to almost $15 for telemarketing, over $20 for TV, and a crazy $125 for radio. The numbers are designed to make the choice feel like a total no-brainer.
And when you see it as a bar chart like this, wow, the argument just becomes undeniable. The bar for his direct mail system is so tiny you can barely even see it next to the others. The message is crystal clear. Why on earth would you spend all that money on these other methods when this one is so much more efficient?
All right, this brings us to the real heart of the matter. The manual itself calls this thing probably one of the most aggressive mail pieces you have ever worked with. So after proving its supposed superiority, it's finally time to see this secret weapon.
So what could it possibly be, right? What piece of paper sent through the good old-fashioned mail could generate a 30% response rate when nothing else even gets close?
Well, first, the author kind of deepens the mystery by telling us everything it's not. So it's not any of those tired old direct mail gimmicks, no fake checks, no you might have won sweepstakes, no promises of impossibly low rates. He says all those tricks have, quote, saturated the market and no longer work.
And here it is. The secret weapon wasn't some clever marketing gimmick at all. The mailer was just a copy of the first page of the homeowner's actual deed of trust. Now, this is a public record document filed with the county that has all the key details of their original mortgage. It's not a piece of marketing, it's a legal document.
And that is the key. Its power comes from pure shock and authority. Just imagine getting this in your mailbox. It has your name, your address, the exact details of your home loan. It looks official and serious because it is an official, serious document. The immediate reaction for most people would be confusion, maybe even alarm, and a really urgent need to call that number on the page and figure out what in the world is going on.
But of course, making the phone ring with confused or even angry people is only half the battle. The second and maybe even more important part of the system is a highly structured process for converting that raw emotional response into an actual sales lead, or what the manual calls a mini app. The funnel itself is pretty straightforward. The second that confused homeowner calls, the loan officer is told to immediately launch into an assumptive script. The whole goal is to instantly reframe the call, like, hey, this isn't a problem, it's an opportunity, and then just push straight into taking an application before the caller can even process what's happening. This is the pivot. This is the very first thing the script tells the loan officer to say. It doesn't ask, it states. It creates a problem out of thin air. You're overpaying and instantly positions the loan officer as the only one who can solve it. The instruction in the manual is explicit. Do not hesitate. And the system was ready for pushback. For every common, angry question, there's a pre-written, kind of evasive answer. When someone asks, is this marketing? The scripted response is, not necessarily. The whole thing is designed to deflect, to disarm, and to steer the conversation right back to filling out that mini app.
You know, looking back, this entire system is so clearly a product of its very specific time and place. It's a lead generation machine that really could only have existed in the unique marketing and tech environment of the early 2000s. I mean, just think about the landscape back then. The big refi boom was over. The national do not call list was about to decimate telemarketing, which the author points out was a $700 billion a year industry. Social media didn't exist, and consumer awareness around data privacy was basically zero. Public records were just this open, easily exploitable resource, and into this perfect storm comes the deed of trust mailer.
Ultimately, the system's power came from its raw ability to just cut through the noise of its day. You know, in a mailbox full of coupons and fake checks, a copy of a real legal document with your name on it was a massive pattern interrupt. It used the built-in authority of a public record to manufacture urgency out of thin air. And that really leaves us with a fascinating question, right? Today, we're all bombarded with hyper-personalized ads online. Were we more aware and maybe a lot more cynical about how our data is being used? So could a tactic this brazen, this psychologically aggressive, still break through all the clutter? Or would it just backfire completely? It's definitely something to think about.